Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're moving on in the Eberron story, and we're talking about the Dragonmark, the Mark of Passage. This is a Dragonmark that allows humans to change out their racial features, going from the traditional human or the variant human into this Mark of Passage human. It grants them quite a few powers that have to do with movement and freedom of movement and fast movement, and they're all about moving. And we're going to get into the details in just a second. But before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships now. For just $1 a month, you get a couple benefits. Firstly, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know you're a supporter. You also get early access to the videos. I upload videos every other day, and I upload them for members a day earlier than everyone else. So if that interests you, you can click the join button just below this video. If you're not interested in that or can't afford it, that's totally fine. I appreciate you being here and watching the content. Thank you for supporting me here on YouTube. So the Mark of Passage human, instead of getting the +1 to everything or the +1 to 2 things like the variant human does, they get a +2 to their dexterity, which makes sense. And dexterity is arguably the best stat in the game. And then they get a +1 to anything else. So that's a 10 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10 right off the bat. Great boost. They also are medium size, like you'd expect, so 10 out of 10 for that. And they have a 35-foot movement speed. They get a little boost to their move speed, which is all it takes to get a 10 out of 10 for me, because it turns out that movement speed is incredibly useful. They get your standard common +1 other language, so 9 out of 10 like normal. Then they get the intuitive motion trait. Whenever they make an acrobatics check, or a check with land vehicles, they get to add a d4 to the check. Acrobatics is an okay skill, especially if you're trying to get out of a grapple. And land vehicles might be cool for you or might be useless, I don't know. Personally, I think that this is a decent skill and a niche skill. I'm going to give the whole thing a 7 out of 10. Then you've got Magical Passage. This grants you the Misty Step spell, and a once per day free casting of it. I mean, that right there is one of the best parts of the Fey Touched feat, and you're just getting this for being, a Mark of Passage human. And yeah, Misty Step, a free Misty Step, peak power. I say 10 out of 10. Even just 1 per long rest is worth it. And you don't need to be a spellcaster. It says that dexterity is your casting, is your skill, is your ability score for this. So you don't even need to be a caster. Not that it matters with Misty Step, but still. And then finally, you get the Spells of the Mark. These are the additional spells that are added to your spells list that you can choose if you're a spellcasting class. So Wizard, Cleric, it gets added to your choices. And you get Misty Step, so this is a great way for some of the less arcane casters to get Misty Step, but there's so much more here. There's Expeditious Retreat. There's Dimension Door. There's Freedom of Movement. There's Phantom Steed. There's even Teleportation Circle once you hit 9th level. This is a magnificent mobility spell list, like you'd expect. It's on point for the theme of the race, and it's a pretty powerful spell list to boot. I say 9 out of 10 for Spells of the Mark, and I say 9 out of 10 overall for the Mark of Passage human. Everything from enhanced speed to free Misty Step to several great spells added, and a +2 to your dexterity on top of all of that. This is a great human. I'm not going to say it's quite as powerful as the feat-driven variant human, but it's definitely better than the standard human. And honestly, I might choose this over like a Wood Elf or a Satyr or something for their extra movement speed. The Spells of the Mark are just great. I'd throw this on like a Warlock or maybe a Cleric or Druid any day of the week. I think it's a great race, and I give it 9 out of 10. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more race reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.